Good evening, folks. Welcome to... come on, game. Does this every time. There we go. Welcome to another stream of Rosewater. The latest and greatest game by the not late, but very great Francisco Gonzalez. And all the other people who made this game. Because it wasn't just him. But anyway, yeah, we're still on the road to El Presidio. We will probably be there for a while. On the road, that is. Not at El Presidio. Although maybe we'll be at El Presidio for a while, too. Who knows? We'll know when we get there, I guess. So, right. So last time, we, encountered, an old ship captain. Captain, yeah. And we helped him basically deal with his demons. Do I have a journal entry I can remember? Oh, yes. Right, we encountered a coyote as well. Okay, yeah, so we did that. Scrubby stretch of desert. Nadine and I spent a good few hours gathering what sparse, dry firewood we could find among the scrub. I had thought to pass the time in conversation, but our paths soon diverged to cover more ground, and the search swelled to occupy our full attention, for we had to work for every combustible scrap we could lay eyes on. Thus absorbed, we separately traveled through the sand and we separately trawled through the sand and gravel like treasure hunters seeking gold and jewels. It must have been half my time was spent in pursuit of a rascally coyote who had snagged a prize piece for its personal chew toy. Not wishing to tangle with the creature, I rigged up a flaming brand to shoo it away, a solution more or less in accord with Nadine's decidedly gentle sensibilities. After we reunited to compare our yields, Nadine favored me with a whittling demonstration and an old yarn about Coyote the Trickster, a figure of native legend. The coyote of her story was a boastful blowhard who imitates others, tricks them into doing his work, and shamelessly takes credit. A rather familiar-feeling type, I thought. Nadine confessed she learned her tale from a book of indigenous lore, which she felt made it less valid or worthwhile somehow. In my experience, sometimes a book is the only available window for catching any glimpse outside of whatever little cell we're stuck in. A body should never feel bad for smooshing their mug up against that window, however narrow, foggy, or distorted, and gawping through it for all they are worth. I love that you use the word smooshing. As we shook the dust off, Nadine surprised me with the gift of the coyote carving she just whittled. I'll hang on to the tricksy little scamp for luck. I don't seem to have it in my inventory, though. Well, maybe it's not important. I think it's important. Hello, Sungniff. Let's see.
Hey, Nadine.
Hello, Harley.
I've still got old Captain Boylan on my mind. Think he'll be all right?
I think so. He seemed much more at peace when we left him. I'm just glad our intervention did some good.
I have to say, I've learned quite a bit about coyotes lately.
They are fascinating creatures, aren't they? I'm sure you can understand why there are so many stories and legends about them.
Smoosh your face in all the books, yes. You have a book about trickster gods across the cultures of the world, and you have indeed smooshed your face into it. Fantastic. That's really cool. What are some of your favorites?
Phil?
Harley?
Do you think Captain Boylan will be all right?
I would like to think so. It takes great bravery to confront one's inner demons. I am glad we were able to help him do so.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously Coyote's in it. Coyote's like one of the most well-known trickster gods, I think.
How are you liking the guitar?
It is a fine instrument. I have not had the opportunity to play in some time.
Favor us with a performance soon?
The music of Vespuccia is not to my taste, but I will play for you some songs from my country.
Sweet.
They warm the heart and stir the soul.
Can't wait. We'll talk more later.
I look forward to it.
Hey, Legere, I need a word.
That is a
Yes.
valid
There's a
choice.
stopped wagon up ahead. Traders from the look of it. I'll pull over. Go see if they've got anything worthwhile for sale.
Loki
Will
is a
do.
good one. You really can't go wrong with Loki, honestly.
Traveling old style. Not so many of these on the roads anymore. Travel. Those beasts look beat. Travel. Travel. Excuse me, ma'am?
Oh, hello there. Where did you come from?
The wagon just down the road there. I was coming to see if...
Hold up there, stranger.
Uh-oh.
Pa, what are you doing?
State your business. We do not want trouble.
Easy there. Trouble's the last thing I'm looking for.
Then what are you looking for?
I've been sent to inquire if you were traders. Thought we might do business.
Ah, well, there you are then. You can put the gun down, Pa. She's clearly not a highway woman.
No? You know how sneaky they are, Ma. And this road is infested with them.
You've had some trouble with bandits then?
Not personally, thanks be to God. But we know the terrible tales.
And we take such warnings seriously. Very seriously.
Pa, please. If she did have any wicked intent, I'm sure she's given it up now that she sees how well protected we are. Please put the gun away. And let's talk like civilized Christian folk.
Bold assumption.
Very well. I swear, if you attempt anything...
She'll regret it sorely, I'm sure. There now. Well, you asked if we were traders, and indeed we are. We're bound for Rosewater to sell our stock. We were about to make camp for the evening, but we'd be glad to show you what we have, provided you can pay or trade.
Rosewater, you say? We've just come from there ourselves.
Is that right? We've made the trek many times. It is never dull.
It's been eventful for us as well.
Oh, I'd enjoy hearing about your journey. How about your folk camp with us tonight? Make an evening
Hell
of
yeah.
it. A chance to trade stories as well as wares.
Now, Ma, is that a good idea? Ria has been fussy all day.
It will be fine. She loves meeting new people.
We do not have extra food, so we cannot feed you.
That's all right. We have some. We can pool what we've got.
Very good. A potluck.
Great. I'll let my companions know to prepare for company. By the way, my name's Harley Legere.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. We are the Fortine family. I'm Sarah Little Owl, and my husband is Carl. We've also got 3 children in the wagon. Beth, Bram, and baby Ria. You'll meet them later this evening.
I look forward to it.
What a
Doggo.
nice evening. I'm so glad we did this. Seems Gegi's taken a shine to Miss Johnson.
Geeky.
She's a fine dog. With a little training, she'd be a fine trail companion.
Oh, I don't think we'll bother with all that.
Fair enough. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to the other fire.
Take Gegi along if you want.
All right. Come on, girl.
Hello, new mommy. Yeah, I mean, that sounds right. It probably, like, because I think Coyote is like a trickster god in like a number of different cultures. So it wouldn't surprise me if like kind of some of them focused more on the trickster aspect and some focused more on the transitions and thresholds and other stuff. It really depends on who you talk to for like a lot of like deity figures. What am I doing? Gegita. Yeah.
I much prefer our means of transportation. That was a good meal. Hey, Mrs. Fortine?
Yes, Miss Legere.
I'm curious to know how you and your husband met.
We both worked for the Gold River Trading Company. I'd already been at the lodge for a few years with my brothers when he first came through. We courted for a while, and eventually decided to elope.
Love at first sight, huh?
It took a while to get to know him, but I could see he was different from the other trappers. Brutes and wild men, but not Carl.
Aw.
After we were married, we both left the company and came west to work independently.
Are you from Western Vespuccia originally?
No, I'm Cheyenne. We come from the southern part of the province you call Rotterdam. Your friend, Miss Redbird. Who are her people?
I asked, but she doesn't know herself.
We met her at an Otham village, where she was staying as a guest.
I see. Well, send her my way when she has a moment. I'd love a chat.
Awesome.
You folks been to Rosewater often?
Several times, yes. We usually spend the winter there. Ever since they extended the rail line, we can go there and sell to traders who ship our pelts back east. Actually, Rhea was born in Rosewater.
You don't say. Have you had your dog long?
Only a few days. We adopted Gagi from a traveling carnival we passed some miles back. Pa wasn't too enthusiastic about it. But I thought it would do the children good to have a companion. Although I have noticed that Bram starts to sneeze something awful when she's around.
Oh no.
I hope he gets over it.
Allergic to dogs.
How did you come up with the name Geggy?
Oh, that was Rhea's doing. Gagi is her way of saying doggy. We all thought it was adorable, and the name stuck.
So, what's the trapper's life like?
It can be rough, but I like the freedom. We can go where we want, when we want, without any boss telling us otherwise.
It's not too dangerous for a young family?
The children are born to it. They can hunt and trap with their eyes closed. Besides, we don't go after anything dangerous. Mainly deer, elk, and beavers.
Your children seem very capable. How old are they?
Beth is 14, Bram is 9, and Rhea is 18 months.
Cool. Bye, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Harley, come, join us.
Lots of stuff lost from...
No! Bad dog! Bram! Take this mutt back to the wagon. She has caused enough trouble for one night.
She's just a pup. You can't expect her to be a perfect angel without being trained to it.
Trained? I would like to know how we will find the time for that. Honestly, I do not know what Sarah was thinking taking her in.
Here, Mr. Fortime, have some rum. I think it will do you some good.
I probably shouldn't, but why not?
Lighten the fuck up.
How about that song you were gonna play us, Phil?
Ah, yes. This is a tune I have always enjoyed.
Okay. Yeah, like lots of stuff lost because of the whole, you know, histories written by the victors and such. Right, yeah. Uller. I think I have heard of Uller. I don't know much about him, but the name rings a bell. I'm a giant mythology nerd myself. I mean, there's obviously like a lot of gaps in my knowledge, but like it's a subject that is very dear to me, and I will happily nerd out about mythology.
I had my doubts about that contraption, but it's really come through so far.
and folklore and such.
The tent I'm sharing with Nadine. It's more spacious than it looks.
I grew up on like Greek and Norse mythology stories, but then like obviously, no, like Greek, Norse, and Egyptian. I think were like the ones that I was like big into when I was a kid. And then since then, I've definitely like made an effort to branch out and learn more about the folklore of other cultures, because like Greek and Norse are like the two big ones that everybody knows about. But there's so much more. So much more that just gets completely ignored and swept under the rug because usually it's because it's not white people.
I had my doubts. Mr. Fortine,
Yes?
just wanted to tell you, your family's lovely.
Oh, that is very kind of you, Miss Leger. I am blessed to have such a loving wife and children. Quite fortunate. Ironic, really.
How do you mean?
Most folk mispronounce my surname as Fortune if they see it written down. There's supposed to be power in names, right? Maybe even wrong ones.
How did you come to meet Mrs. Fortine?
Oh, well, I was working at the Gold River Trading Company, and she came in to work at the lodge with her brothers. The other trappers treated her and her kin like the dirt they walked on, but eventually I convinced her I was different. Decided we should elope a short while after we began courting. The fools I worked with did not look too favorably upon me marrying a native girl. So I said to hell with them. We left town and moved out here to make it on our own. Been doing fine ever since.
Nice. I'm trying to figure out his origin, because Fortine is that looks like a Dutch name to me. The UY is a very Dutch name construction or word construction there. But he definitely does not sound, the accent he has is not Dutch. I guess Afrikaans is another option, but he doesn't sound like that either.
I'd like to know more about your
Then
children.
again, I don't really know what
Those
Afrikaans
apples did not fall too
accent
far
would
from
sound
the
like.
tree, thank the Lord. Bram's a great shot, and Bet's as good a trapper as me. Maybe better. I just hope that does not cause trouble when the time comes to find her a husband.
Mythology nerd circles. Okay. Older was the chief god here in Sealand. God of archery. Okay. Cool. Neat. Well, I learned something today. Thank you.
What's the trapper's life like?
It can be a lonely life. Lots of trappers live and work alone, and hardly ever see another living soul. I think it drives them a little crazy, like they forget how to be human. That is why I thank God every day for my family. They saved me from that.
Another thing that, so as a mythology nerd, like I'm always kind of annoyed that like the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe is what a lot of people think of when they're like, oh, Thor and Loki, blah, the Marvel characters. Yeah, but they're not the same. Like their relation, the whole like family tree is different. Thor and Loki are not brothers. Loki is Odin's blood brother. Loki is Thor's uncle. It's fine though, because yeah, like I keep telling myself like they're different characters, so they're not supposed to be, you know, equated.
Pardon my frankness, but I get the impression you don't much care for your dog.
It's not that I don't care for her. I do not believe we can care for her. We've already got 5 mouths to feed. One more won't help. Ma didn't even consult me before taking her. Says she got her for the children, but they should worry about taking care of each other, not some poor animal.
Is he? So the way the story I learned when I was growing up was that he was a Jotun. But Odin was like, "Hey, that Jotun's hot. I'm gonna be brothers with him."
Mrs. Fortine mentioned you were headed to Rosewater?
That's right. It's where we do most of our business. Be nice to see old Sheriff Campbell again. He's good people.
Yeah, God, I love the Norse mythology like origin story. Yep, just a cow. A cow made things happen.
He's in the middle of playing. Hey, Miss Johnson?
What do you need?
Phil's not bad, is he?
I've certainly heard worse. Think I'll be retiring soon. Early start tomorrow.
You're always the first one down. Be nice to have you stick around a while longer.
Think so, huh?
Sure. This is our chance to wind down. Enjoy each other's company some.
All right. Maybe just this once.
Yay!
I noticed you and the dog were getting on well.
She's sweet. This family don't appreciate what they've got. Been thinking about getting a dog myself. Ain't found the time.
Excuse me, but it's getting late. I should put Rhea to bed.
Very well. It was nice talking to you, Beth.
And you. Good night.
Aw, dang, I never got a chance to talk to her. Should have talked to her first.
It's so nice to have music, isn't it?
Not now, Harley. I'm listening to the music.
Sorry, think we could talk later? I want to hear Phil play.
Mr. Fortine?
Yes?
I mean, we could take Geggy, but I don't want to just take her.
Having a good evening, Mrs. Fortine?
I am, Miss Legere. I'm so glad we did this.
Oh, interesting. Yes. It is Loki's fault that Baldur is dead. Yes, I do know that story.
Mr. Fortine?
Yes?
If Geggy's a burden to you, we could take her off your hands.
You would do that?
Sure.
No, I couldn't. Ma would raise Cain, and the children would hate me if I gave away their dog.
You're right. I wouldn't want to put you in that position. Forget I asked.
Bravo, Phil.
Gracias.
This has been enjoyable, but I think it's time for me and the family to call it a night.
Pleasure meeting you folks. Appreciate the company.
Likewise. Good night, and good luck on your travels.
Yeah.
Let us keep the evening going, shall we?
He's a hilarious dick, and he also gets consequences for his tomfoolery, which is pretty amusing.
What'd you think of our dinner guests?
Mr. Fortine seems a hard-working man. Nothing but respect for that. Of course, that ain't the only thing I respect him for. If I could catch a woman like he did, hoo-wee, I'd die a happy man. Mrs. Fortine's a lovely lady. A damn fine, beautiful, lovely lady. Them two
Jake?
make a real nice couple, and the kids seem like good eggs. Hell, Even old Ramblin' Jake could think of settling down and starting a family with a gal like that.
I thought it was Gentleman Jake.
Well, now, not always.
Jake,
Real glad we met him. Real glad.
keep it in your pants,
Time
Jake.
for me to bed down. See you all bright and early.
Hey Nadine, how's it going?
I enjoyed speaking with the Fortines. I hope they fare well in Rosewater. So many people just come and go through town. It's not really a home for many. Kind of sad if you think about it.
Yep, this is another story I'm familiar with. And he ended up, they ended up getting some dwarves to craft new hair for her, if I recall correctly.
I've said all I want to for now. Got any more songs for us, Phil?
In fact, I do. I always found this one rather beautiful. Dime que me haré, sin tu amor, flor silvestre. Si los días no me pertenecen, desde que crucé tu jardín. Si tu aroma mi alma carece, pierdo el deseo de vivir. Y cuando volveré, a mis brazos tenerte.
I have you in my arms again.
Si estando libre tú eres feliz, cuando nadie tu paso detiene, la distancia no se compadece de estos ojos que sufren por ti. Y vivo la ilusión de que un día regreses. Entre abrazos y caricias confieses que no hay vida sin mí. Y dime que me haré sin tu amor, flor silvestre. Si los días no me pertenecen, desde que crucé tu jardín. Si tu aroma mi alma carece, pierdo el deseo de vivir.
I lose the will to live. I could translate the rest of that if I had more time. Couldn't quite do it on the fly. But wow, yeah, that was
Goodness,
awesome.
That was certainly...
Oh, Jake.
Are you crying?
Of course not. Just got a cinder in my eye.
That was a beautiful song, Phil. Thanks for sharing.
My pleasure.
I'm feeling a mite queasy, so if you folks don't mind.
Gnifs. That's cool. I didn't know gnif. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Was a word for dwarf.
Hey, Danny. How's your evening been?
I really enjoyed meeting the Fortines. It's nice to see a family that's so close. All that time on the road and in the mountains, with only each other to rely on. It can't be easy, but they clearly make it work.
Oh, yay.
I think maybe I'll ride my parents next chance I get.
Time for me to call it a night.
Good night, Harley.
Buenas noches.
Sleep well.
Doggo.
Morning. Say, isn't that the Fortines dog?
Not anymore. They let me take her.
Oh, well, good. Geggy didn't seem too thrilled with the family.
I don't think she was. And her name's not Geggy anymore. It's Lisa Lou.
Aw.
Good choice. She looks like a Lisa Lou.
I'm glad you think so. Now come on, let's head out.
Yay! Now we have a dog. Well, she has a dog. Can I pet her? Other folk. Ooh. Cool.
Nadine
there's
carved this for me after telling me that story about the coyote.
there's the coyote figurine.
Phil's music has livened up the journey some. Hey, Jake?
Yeah, Harley?
It was nice to spend time with that Trapper family.
With who? Oh, right, the Fentons.
I believe they were the Fortines.
Right. Truth be told, I can't recall much about that evening. I may have had a mite too much of Phil's rum.
I appreciate the chat.
Anytime, Harley.
Right, yeah. I remember, I think the book that I had also referred to them as Svartalfur, which is just dark elf. Yeah, they're all the same. They're all the same creature, which I think is really cool. They're just like dwarves and elves are just different flavors of the same type of creature.
Hey, Danny, let's talk.
Sure.
How about that Trapper family, huh?
It's nice to see good people like that out here in the wilderness. Pretty easy to get jaded and expect nothing but bandits and mountebanks, you know?
Mountebanks, good word.
The wagon is slowing down again.
See anything out there, Danny?
Yeah, this is a small building.
Let's go take a look.
Engine's running hot. I'm giving it a rest. We set off again in half an hour.
I'm going to see what's happening over at that shack. You want to come, Jake?
Oh, you go on, Danny. I wanted to have a word with Miss Johnson.
Oh, okay.
I will accompany you.
As will I.
Harley?
Go on, I'll be along in a minute.
Yes, Svartalfheim. That was like one of the aspects of the book I read as a kid too. Like it talked about all the different realms, not just Midgard, and not just Asgard, but like Muspelheim and Svartalfheim and Elfheim and etc. etc. It was cool when I played God of War recently, the 2018 God of War, and they actually like you get to go to some of them, and I'm like, oh, cool. My mythology nerdery is paying off. I recognize these places, kinda. Some really cool interpretations of Norse myths in that game. I haven't
They're
played
having a
Ragnarok
private
yet.
Conversation.
There's probably a new journal entry. Yes, there is. A friendly encounter on the road. We made camp last night with a family of trappers we met on the road, the Fortines, spelled wrong. After successfully dissuading the trigger-happy paterfamilias from blasting me for a coach robber on sight, we parked our wagons up alongside and had ourselves what they call a potluck supper. For their part, the Fortines had some good cuts of salted venison that made a welcome embellishment to Danny's dried beans and a spare sack of Captain Boylan's potatoes. Pa Fortine was a gruff sort, but a tipple of Phil's Barbadian rum loosened him up a touch. His wife and children proved more sociable. It seemed they lived their whole lives on the road and in the wilderness, trekking back and forth between trapping up in the mountains and trading in Rosewater, where they're currently bound. I guess they must be pretty tight-knit, not seeing any other soul for weeks or months on end. One family member not so well integrated in this cozy unit was their newly acquired dog, Geggy, still a puppy really, who seemed to source more irritation and bother than a fond canine companionship. Now rechristened Lisa Lou, the latest addition to our posse has been ensconced firmly under Miss Johnson's wing. I swear she's favored that pup's smiles and tender words, the likes of which I've not seen her bestow on any human, leastways not on me. Cute. Dad of War.
Sorry, mon cher.
Yeah.
It seems fortune was not on your side.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, like even if it doesn't like hew perfectly to like the real world mythology, it's internally consistent, and it's just like a really cool interpretation of the stories, which I always appreciate.
Hey, I can see my reflection in the lamp from here. Lady Tichet, mind reader, take the challenge. Right.
Yeah, man, and like the actually, I think my biggest problem that I had with that game was that they basically conflated Freya and Frigg. And I was like, that's not fair. Like, there's like they're like we're gonna have one female character in this game, and it's gonna be her. And like, come on, why can't you have more than one? That's bullshit. But other than that, there was a lot of really cool stuff in that game. I mean, it's kind of a spoiler, but the interpretation of Baldur. Hey, thank you for the sub, 32 kid. The interpretation of Baldur in Dad of War was awesome. And like once you figured out what his deal was, it's like, oh, oh no.
It's a small wooden box with an ornately carved design on the side. Hey, Danny? Why so glum?
She cleaned me out. And after I was doing so well. There must be some trick. I just wish I could figure out what it is.
How did she clean you out?
I don't know. It all happened so fast. I was picking the right cards, and then my luck shifted. Next thing I knew, she was guessing everything right, and I was out of the few crowns I had.
Yeah. Again, like I said, it's internally consistent. So I mean, like I can't get too mad about it. I'm just like, my main complaint is just because female characters in games get shafted anyway. It's like, here's another example of that. But you're right, yeah. It was to serve the story, so I can't get too mad.
What's going on, Phil?
Poor Danny seems upset about losing, but it serves him right for listening to a swindler. Everyone knows these things are rigged.
Definitely could have been a lot worse. and their interpretation of Freya was really cool, just in her own right anyway, so.
What's going on?
Poor but
What are you up to, Nadine?
I've just been observing that woman. She doesn't seem trustworthy.
What have you observed, exactly? Anything unusual?
The way she moves, it's very practiced. There's trickery afoot. I would pay close attention to her motions if I were you. I would keep my eye on that woman if I were you.
Alright, what's your deal, lady?
Hi there.
Bonjour. Welcome. I am Lady Tichet. Are you interested in taking my little challenge?
Challenge?
So what's the challenge exactly?
But it is quite simple. I bet you 1 crown I can read your mind.
Okay. How does it work?
I shall lay 9 cards out on the table, then avert my gaze. You pick one of the cards, then place the rest into the box over there. Once that is done, I will tell you which card you are holding. If I am wrong, which I sometimes am, you win double your money. Interested?
Mind running through those rules once more?
Of course not. I shall lay 9 cards out on the table, then avert my gaze. You pick one of the cards, then place the rest into the box over there. Once that is done, I will tell you which card you are holding. If I am wrong, which I sometimes am, you win double your money.
Let's be honest here. You aren't really a mind reader. What's the trick?
No trick, madame. I have been blessed with a gift.
Oh, yeah? Then what number am I thinking of right now?
Those without the sight are so quick to mock and doubt. If you wish to see my gift in action, you need only accept my challenge.
Right. I want to see this. Let's play.
1 crown, please.
Right, she's looking at the lamp. Uh-huh. Which one should we pick? The mirror, the moon, the cat, that's a good cat, the stone, the key, the ship, the candle, the sea, the path. These are very cool looking cards. I mean, the ship seems cool because we just did a whole thing about the ship. But then, I mean, look at that cat. I gotta go cat.
All done?
Yup.
All right. Give me 1 moment. I sense that you have drawn the ship.
Ha! You're wrong.
Impossible. Show me your card. I see. No matter. How about we try again, but this time raise the stakes. 2
Right.
crowns to start, 4 for you if I cannot guess.
So, hold on. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was trying. I was like, I bet there's probably like some kind of like log somewhere that keeps track of what card everyone picked, and I bet the cat is like way up there. Oh yeah, she's 100% scanning me. She intentionally lost that first round so that I would gain confidence and be like, yeah, I'm gonna bet more money. So hang on, let me see if I...
Nah, I think I'm good.
Suit yourself. Here are your winnings. Let me know if you wish to try again.
I do, but let's see.
I'm leaving now.
May fortune favor you.
I would keep my eye on.
What's going on, Phil?
Poor Dad, but
He's still upset.
So,
Lady Tichet always seems to look towards this lamp, but I can't really see anything in it from this angle.
Wait a minute. From this angle, I can see the tabletop reflected in the glass. So that's how she does it. Wait a minute. So that's how.
Hello again.
Hello. Would you care to attempt my challenge again?
You can drop the act, sister. I know you're cheating.
That is a very serious accusation. You may think you have discovered some chicanery, but I assure you there is none. The truth is, my results speak for themselves.
I'm leaving now.
May fort.
Lady Tichet, but I can't.
so how do I do something about it? Is the question.
Lady Tichet, right.
Wait a minute. So that.
Hey, Danny? I know how that fraud is guessing everything correctly.
Really? How?
She can see the cards reflected in that lamp when she turns away.
Course! So what do we do now?
Let's beat her at her own game. Shoot out the lamp.
Haha, I get it. Okay, sure.
Well, I mean... Don't just...
Just what in the ether do you think you're doing?
The jig is up, Lady Tichet. You're not gonna scam anyone ever again.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Oh, shit!
Now here's what's gonna happen. You're all gonna turn around and leave, nice and quiet like. I ever see any of you around here again, you get shot on sight. Do I make myself clear?
All due respect,
We've got you outnumbered and outgunned. You're in no position to negotiate. We'll go, but first you're giving us our money back.
Fine. Take it.
And Nadine was there too.
Pleasure doing business. Come on, let's get back to the wagon.
I was hoping to do that a little more subtly, but okay. Like, distract her first and then shoot her lamp or something. I don't know.
All right there, Danny?
Yep.
Hey, Nadine.
Hello, Harley.
The Fortine family was nice, weren't they?
It was incredible to see such a strong family bond. They depend on each other completely for their livelihood and survival.
Phil?
Harley,
Meeting those trappers was fortunate.
are you attempting to make a pun?
What? No. I would never. Puns are the lowest form of humor.
Aha. And what would you consider the highest?
The highest? That would have to be puns too. Only the so bad it's good sort where it kind of
Yes.
wraps around and becomes great again.
Very good. I shall keep that in mind. Yes, I am glad we encountered them. They were quite entertaining, especially the father. Seeing him loosen up after a few swigs of rum was quite satisfying.
We'll talk more later.
I look forward to it.
Huh. There's a lady running toward the road. What the heck is she doing?
Madre de Dios!
I
What?
better see what's going on.
What happened?
What is it? Bandits? Highwaymen?
Worse. Performers.
Good day to you, travelers.
What's so good about it then? And what are you thinking? Running out in front of the wagon like that?
I apologize for the theatrics. I fear it's in my nature.
Is this a Renaissance fair?
And just who are you, anyway?
Who am I? Honestly, I suppose I'm, well, desperate.
That much is clear. You running away or something?
Heavens no, I could never do that. I'm the impresario of this theater troupe. Name's Kate Hatomi. Our show opens next week, and I'd be fibbing if I said it was going well.
So I'm guessing you want us to help you in some way?
Ah, very astute. All I ask is an hour of your time. We've been rehearsing this play for so long. We're all too close to the material. We need fresh eyes and unbiased opinions. If you could but watch our rehearsal and share your honest, unvarnished impressions, you would be doing us a good turn. The performance will be gratis, of course.
Lucky for you, we've got Gentleman Jake on board. He's an expert showman.
The Gentleman Jake? Why, it would be an honor to play for him.
What do you think, Miss Johnson?
I think it sounds like an excellent chance to get a few winks. I'll park just over there. Y'all have fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself and all the Queen's Mid-Atlantic players, welcome! This is a peek behind the curtain, if you will, at a work in progress. I thank you most humbly for your indulgence and warmly invite you to share your impressions following the rehearsal. And now, please enjoy the show.
Quite a hat she's got. Oh gosh.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a beautiful and charming princess.
Oh, I love my land. The people are kind, the water fresh, and the days are sunny and bright.
The princess was loved and admired by everyone in the land, except one. An evil wizard coveted the kingdom and kidnapped the princess, intending to marry her and gain the throne. To ensure she could not escape, he summoned a terrifying dragon to guard her.
Oh my god. It's King's Quest.
However, all was not lost. For a young hero rose to the challenge.
I shall battle the dragon and save the princess. That is, if my dear mother lets me. I said, if my mother lets me, of course.
Faye, that's your cue. Faye? Where the hell is Faye?
I don't know. Last I saw her, she was in her tent.
Oh, for crying out loud! I'm sorry, folks. I don't know what I was thinking. It's clear we won't be getting anywhere with this rehearsal. You can change out of your costume now, Dwayne. We're done here. Martina? Quentin? Same goes for you.
But I spent hours on my makeup.
And I spent months on this show! Look where that's gotten us! Everything I do to keep all this together, and you lot can't even turn up on stage now and then to hit a mark and say a few lines! Off with you, I need to think.
Yikes.
I really must apologize for wasting your time. I knew the show needed some work. I didn't realize it wasn't fit to perform.
There must be some way we can help with the show.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Are you sure? Much as it pains me, I can't honestly say we aren't in need of help.
Certainly.
Well, I'm curious to hear your suggestions. But right now, we need to find out what's wrong with Faye. Your doctor friend went to examine her, but I think she's just having one of her tantrums. You know how actors can be. Or perhaps you don't. In which case, consider yourself lucky. I'm going back to the stage. Come see me if you have any ideas.
Well, this'll be fun.
So, any ideas?
Perhaps. Excuse me. I'm going to have another look at the stage.
Pyrotechnics!
Danny and I are gonna go talk to the two fellers playing the wizard and hero. I think you should help Miss Redbird see to that Fae woman. Anyhow, we'll see if we can't get this show in halfway decent shape. Come on, Danny boy.
Danny boy. Diary, what do you have to say? A dumpy roadside shack. We paused in our travels just long enough to get ourselves fleeced by a roadside operator with a card table set up outside a dusty shack in the middle of nowhere. Lady Tichet claimed to possess otherworldly powers of clairvoyance when really all she possessed was a nice deck of cards, a carefully positioned shiny surface, and a painfully affected accent. That and a shotgun in reserve for when things didn't go her way. We got the better of her at the end, but we should have had the smarts to steer clear in the first place. Now, I am no psychic, but I foresee a long talk with Danny about how to spot a grifter and avoid being taken for a ride in the very near future. A cluster of colorful tents and wagons. We had come upon the camp of a traveling theater troupe, the Mid-Atlantic Players. Their impresario, a Miss Kate Hatomi, has been driven to vexation on account of the dimming dramaturgic prospects of her eclectic coterie, whose current production is in no fit state to perform. In an excess of fellow feeling for another entertainer, Jake has grandly volunteered our assistance, although what useful form that aid might take at this juncture is not presently clear.
Someone kept a copy of a local newspaper.
The Las Virgenes Herald. Tuesday, October 6th, 1850. 6 covers. Traveling players perform Camelot in the park before bemused onlookers. Picnickers, ramblers, and families intent on enjoying a leisurely afternoon in Las Virgenes' Pelican Park last Sunday were doubtless left befuddled by a nearly incoherent plein-air rendition of the chivalric drama Camelot, staged there by impresario Miss Hatomi's itinerant theater troupe, the Mid-Atlantic Players. The polyglot players, hailing from all over Vespuccia and the far reaches of the globe, gargled and fumbled through their lines in a stilted, faux medieval patois, riddled with these and thous and forsooths, as they strove to bring King Arthur's court to life amidst the palms and fountains of the West Lawn. Evidently in the habit of traveling light, the performers were obliged to make do with next to nothing in the way of sets, costumes, or props that might enliven the spectacle and in any way further the illusion of a courtly medieval setting for the drama. As to drama, the plot was paper-thin, a stock tale of good overcoming evil, wholly lacking in subtlety and nuance, not to mention any trace of the courtliness and charm one might expect in a romance from days of yore. The legions of nappers taking advantage of the late afternoon haze to doze in the soft grass evidently found little in the way of thrills during the proceedings to rouse them from their slumber. Perhaps a more fitting description of the scene, days of bore. Born on August 30th to Mr. and Mrs. Pierre de la Roche of Punta Blanca, their firstborn son, Pierre Auguste Jean-Paul de la Roche, weighing 8 pounds 3 ounces. In some years' time, the young Mr. Pierre de la Roche Jr., heir to the de la Roche family fortune, is sure to become the county's most eligible bachelor. He's a baby! Married, Mr. Charles Grayson, 27, to Miss Bella Levinsky, 18, on Saturday the 3rd at the Church of the Holy Waters in Las Virgenes. The bride was given away by her uncle, Mr. Abraham Levinsky. That is a 9-year age difference. Dr. Roy Oakes, 73, to Miss Elsinora Snow, 81, widow of the late Mr. Frederick Snow, at the Snow family's Corona Beach mansion. The children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren of both the espoused were in attendance. That's much more wholesome. Died, local blacksmith Mr. Arnold Paget, 51, of Wilshire Lake, in a tragic boating accident. He is survived by his wife and 8 daughters, all unwed, now left without means of support. Memorial to be held on Friday next at 4 p.m. at Christ Chapel of Wilshire. Sup, Ober Solo? Well, so, okay, I mean, it's the fact that she's 18, I think, is the squeaky bar part. Whatever happened to Dr. Bennett Clark? Once hailed as the Wizard of Aethericity, Dr. Bennett Clark has fallen from the public eye in recent years. After the public outcry following the deaths of 15 people in the Lamplight City Expo disaster of 47, he hastily relocated to Rosewater, western Vespuccia, where for a time he continued a series of public demonstrations, albeit to a diminished audience. No word has been heard of Dr. Clark in nearly a year. Despite the awesome destruction he wrought, he claimed his only wish was the betterment and protection of all mankind. By harnessing and taming the mighty dragon of Aethericity, Clark hoped to bring salvation to the common citizen. Those words are important, I get the feeling. Good catch. Yeah, I was wondering whether that name was a reference to something, and I couldn't come up with anything, but I think you nailed it.
A cylindrograph. It's for playing music on wax cylinders. Hello, Miss Martina, was it?
Yeah, Martina Holder. I am sorry we could not finish the show for you.
No worries. My companions and I are trying to help your director make it better.
Ah, good. We do need the help.
When did you join this troupe?
Oh, about 4 years ago. Then my English was not so good, so I did not get many parts with words, but I am getting more and more lines in the new shows.
What were you doing before joining this troupe?
I was living in Bright Bay, working as an art model. One evening, the artist I modeled for took me to the theater to one of Miss Hatomi's shows. Afterward, he told me he was leaving to go to work for a new patron in Italy. He could no longer keep me.
So he took you out to lessen the blow?
Not exactly. It turned out he knew Miss Hatomi. He had painted some backdrops for her. He took me backstage after the show and asked her to let me audition. I was shaking. I cannot even remember what I said. I had never acted before, you see. But fortunately for me, Miss Hatomi decided to take me on. Otherwise, I would have been out on the street.
I'd like to know about your castmates.
They are fine people, and I am lucky to know them. Mr. Ellis always has stories and jokes to make me laugh. He reminds me of a big bear. He's also a very fine actor, and he has performed on stages in great cities all over Europe. Dwayne is very nice, but he's also very shy. He does not speak much with me or any of the others. I have always thought it is funny that an actor is so shy, but when he is on stage, one would never know. And Mrs. Davies is like a mother to me. She cares for us very much and wants to make sure everyone is healthy and happy. Although she does nag a lot. My real mother did not nag so.
Goodbye, Miss Holder.
Lovely to be speaking with you.
Aw, she's a sweetheart. I like her.
Oh, another visitor. Who are you?
Harley Legere. And you are?
Faye Davies. I don't expect it's a name you've heard. And as I was explaining to your friend here, not a name I expect you'll hear very much in the future.
Drama queen.
Mrs. Davies, I would advise moderation in regards to that brandy.
Dear girl, I understand you like to dabble in medical matters. Let me assure you that this is the only medicine that works for me.
Sure.
Hey, baby. Hello, Harley.
A diva on a divan. That's good. I like that.
What's your opinion of the show?
Yes, please tell us. Don't be shy. I'd like to hear what you think.
I didn't quite understand it, actually. Perhaps it would make more sense if we had seen the whole thing.
Dear girl, I truly doubt that would have made much of a difference.
Did you examine Mrs. Davies?
I did.
And what's your medical opinion?
I couldn't find anything wrong with her physically. At least nothing that an excess of brandy wouldn't explain. But she's in no state of mind to be performing.
I don't believe one needs to be a medical professional to draw that conclusion, my dear.
I'll see you later. Mrs. Davies seems quite fond of this stuff. A few books and a collection of wax cylinders in that box. Mrs. Davies?
What is it?
Why weren't you on stage today? Is something wrong?
Something wrong. Something wrong. Exactly what aspect of my current condition would suggest to you that anything is right?
What's got you so upset?
I'm about to lose my place here, that's what. Turned out on the dusty road to fend for myself. I'm simply overcome with the sheer injustice of it all.
You think you're being dismissed? Why's that?
Oh, it's a long, long story, but what it comes down to is finances, or lack thereof. Kate has been tightening the belt lately. She says our performances haven't been attracting the crowds they once did. But even so, we aren't doing that badly. All of us have taken quite deep cuts to our usual allowance. Still doesn't seem to be enough. Naturally, I, being the most recent addition to the troupe, am the first up to the chopping block. If you ask me, something doesn't add up. I know for a fact that our run in Bois de Quivo was quite respectable, yet apparently our financial future is dangling over the precipice by a fraying thread. It's all more than a tad suspicious.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Sunkniff. Like, you want to not get fired? Then do your job.
So you suspect Miss Hitomi is taking more than her share?
We've all suspected it for some time, but I'm the only one who's willing to speak up about it. Everyone else knows I'll be the first to go, so they keep their heads down and wait to reap my share.
You've accused Miss Hitomi?
Of course not. I haven't got any proof. But you can bet I would if I did.
If you were let go, what would you do?
Oh, God, please don't ask me such things. I can't bear to think about it.
It's a serious question. Everyone needs a backup plan.
I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, what will I do? Kate couldn't be so heartless. Will they really just let me go? Will no one speak up for me? God, help me.
Lady, I think you are the problem here.
There now. I'm sure there's a solution.
You don't actually want a solution, you just want to complain. You just want to be the center of attention. Yeah. Yeah, she is. Maybe she has a reason. We'll see. We'll continue to investigate. I'll withhold full judgment for now.
How long have you been a member of this troupe?
Oh, not long at all. Less than a year. I was the last one to join.
What did you do before you were a Queen's Mid-Atlantic player?
I was with another outfit based up in Fawcett. The Davies Traveling Spectacular. 15 years we were together. Anton, my husband, was our director and I was the star. When I got too old to play the princesses and heroines, Anton would cast me as the ravishing queen. He always made sure I had a spot on center stage. 16 months ago, he passed away in a stagecoach accident. An enormous tragedy.
I'm terribly sorry.
So were we all. Anton was the fiercely beating heart of that troupe. Absolutely irreplaceable. The others couldn't imagine going on without him. So everyone just went their separate ways. Just like that, everything was gone. My heart's love, my director, my troupe, my livelihood. I'm sorry.
So, how did you come to join Miss Atomi's troupe?
Oh, the traveling theater world is quite small, you know. We all know one another and meet on the road from time to time. Kate heard what happened and wrote me a letter of condolence. We corresponded for a while. Eventually, she said she was passing by Fawcett and offered to take me in. Quite simply, she took pity on me.
I'm guessing she probably has, like, the most experience acting out of any of these people. Which is, like, so I think she's actually, like, she's probably a valuable asset to the troupe. She's just a problem.
What drew you to the stage?
I've known I wanted to act since I was a girl. I would put on shows for my parents and the village children. I traveled to Fawcett to audition for Anton Davies' Traveling Spectacular. He just formed the troupe then. First, I became his star actress, and soon enough, his wife.
What can you tell me about the other players?
Oh, such sweethearts. They've taken me in like a second family. Martine, especially. She's the daughter I never had. Dwayne is a good boy, but he keeps to himself. And dear Quentin. He and I have something of a friendly rivalry. Although he can get quite competitive at times, the old ham.
I'll just leave you to it.
I bet Quentin doesn't think of it as a friendly rivalry. We'll see when I talk to him.
A poster for some show I've never heard of called The Dissembling Mechanism. Apparently it opened on New Year's Day. Let's see. There are a few wax cylinders here. I don't want to be juggling these.
Okay.
I'll swap this for the one I've got.
Thought so.
Unhand that brandy. I need it for my nerves.
Unhandy that brandy.
Nothing to say, really. Villainous intent.
This was the music we used for Mr. Ellis in the show we did before.
What character did he play there?
A train robber.
Cool. Let's play all of them. See what they sound like.
Funeral dirge.
Ah, I do not like this one. It reminds me of sad times.
It is rather grim. Have you used it in a show before?
And Miss Atomi says audiences prefer happy endings.
Fair enough. Oops.
Saloon Sing-Along.
Oh, hi, Voxleona. Welcome. How you doing?
Oh, I love this one. This was the first song I learned in English, you know.
You don't say. How does it go?
All of the little maidens go strolling along. All of the little boys come to sing them a song. All of the little children start dancing in line. And all of them have such a wonderful time. All have a wonderful time.
Cute. What happened to your accent?
Interesting. Her accent all but disappears when she sings.
Yeah, you are doing. I feel that. Fist bump from across the interwebs. Fist bump of solidarity.
Knights in shining armor.
We used this music for Twin's character in our last show.
I take it he was the hero in that one too?
Yeah, that is right. He's playing all the heroes.
Okay. Oh, this will be a good part of the game for you, Voxleona. Actually, we're dealing with actors. We're trying to fix up a stage play. So right up your alley.
Not terrible as far as props go, but it could use some extra oomph.
Oh, Phil, make that dragon breathe fire.
I bet Jake wishes his show's backdrop was half as realistic.
It's a pretty good backdrop. Dealing with actors, yep. And all the drama involved.
Phil?
Harley?
What was your opinion of the performance?
It was not to my taste. However, with some improvements, it could be entertaining.
Alright, see you later.
Pyrotechnics!
Miss Hitomi?
Yes?
When did you put this troupe together?
As it exists now? Oh, it's been about 5 years, I should say. That's when Quentin and I came over to Vespuccia.
What were you doing before starting this troupe?
I spent some time in London, then went traveling around Europe doing this and that, until I met Quentin.
Have you performed yourself, or do you stay out of the spotlight?
Me? Oh no, I haven't been on stage since Paris. Quentin and I used to do a little magic show, if you can believe it.
No fooling?
It was a very long time ago. Not worth remembering, honestly.
I want to hear about your cast.
Oh, they all have their talents. They wouldn't be in my troupe otherwise. But I don't hold with talking about people behind their backs. Why don't you get to know them yourself?
What do you think would make the show better?
God, where do I begin? Faye's in a black mood. Quentin thinks his character lacks depth. Martina's unintelligible. And Dwayne's swordplay doesn't even rise to the level of farce. And naturally, theater's all about imagination. But with the quality of our set and props, I fear we are asking rather too much of our audience in that department. I'm this close to packing it all in.
What's wrong with Quentin's character?
Not a thing! Everyone loves to hate the evil wizard. He's a guaranteed crowd pleaser. But Quentin thinks the role lacks depth. That his talents as an actor, and they are considerable, are going to waste. And yes, perhaps he has a point, but for God's sake, this is not the Royal Arcadium! We performers have a saying. There are no small roles, only small-minded, puffed-up thespians who suppose that entertaining the common man is somehow beneath them. I love Quentin, really I do, but I've had it up to here with his carping and grousing. He doesn't listen to me, but you're welcome to try bringing him down to earth if you'd like.
Well, we'll see. The show must go on, yes.
What's the problem with Martina?
Weren't you listening? She doesn't so much say her lines as chew on them and cough them out. She's a sweet girl, and her physical performance is outstanding. The things she can do with just her eyes. I'm loath to cut her part or take away the few lines she already has, but unless she finds some way to magically rid herself of that blasted Teutonic accent, I may have to.
Aw, her Teutonic accent is adorable.
You don't think the swordplay is good enough?
Setting aside that our prop swords are as likely to crumble to bits or give the players paper cuts as they are to make it through a scene intact, it's just not very convincing or compelling. Dwayne either needs to get more adept at handling them, or we need to rethink the whole sword thing. Thank God this play doesn't feature a real sword-fighting duel, but it does need a big climax where the hero slays the dragon. How are we supposed to do that without a sword?
What can we do to make your set and props better?
The best thing we've got is the dragon head, but it's not exactly intimidating, is it? Your friend over there said he might have an idea to make it better. Honestly, at this point, I'm all ears.
I had a chat with Mrs. Davies. She seems to think her position's in jeopardy.
What? Why would she think that?
Are you saying you're not planning on letting her go?
Of course not, especially not so close to opening night. What a ridiculous notion! Honestly, I don't know where Faye gets these ideas.
So long.
Take care.
Phil?
Harley?
Had any ideas to make the show better?
Yes, I believe so. This dragon head is amusing, but with some pyrotechnics, it could really impress a crowd.
You want to make it breathe fire?
Hell yeah.
Indeed. Far more effective, wouldn't you agree?
Definitely. But how do you intend to pull it off?
I can rig it up quite easily, but I need a fuel source. If you can find me some high-proof alcohol, we should be set.
Okay.
Remind me what you needed for the dragon.
Some fuel. High-proof alcohol will do the trick.
All right. See you later.
Which means we probably need to get that brandy away from Faye. Maybe if we tell her Kate isn't planning on firing her, she'll be more cooperative, but let's talk to everybody else first.
It's a poster for a musical show called Carondelet. It opened on June 2nd. Must be one of Miss Hitomi's previous shows. A poster for The Mystery at Delphi. Opened on November 6th.
I feel like I'm going to be quizzed on these dates.
The actor's life doesn't seem to allow for much in the way of comfort. The desk is covered in papers. Lots of notes. What a mess. Most of these seem to be show notes. Here's a list of names. Othello, Carondelet, Dissembling, Delphi. Wonder what that means.
Oh, okay. Alright. It's a
Traveling
code.
Looks
I
like
bet.
it's been quite a few places.
Ooh, what have we here?
If my eyes don't deceive me, that's a false compartment. Just need to figure out how to open it. All sorts of costumes, fake beards, and other theatrical accessories. All sorts of... A pair of leather boxing gloves.
Ooh.
These might be useful. No way I can force it open. All sorts of... A brass button. A brass button. A brass button. A brass
Addendum jug. Okay, alright. Let me get a notepad. So, Delphi.
A poster for The Mystery at Delphi. Opened on November 6th.
Does this pen work? No, it does not. That pen is dead to me. Does this pen work? Yes, it does. Delphi. 11-6.
It's a poster for a musical show called Carondelet. It opened on June 2nd.
6-2. Okay. And then there were some other ones in here. I think that was dissembling.
A poster for some show I've never heard of called The Dissembling Mechanism. Apparently it opened on New Year's Day.
1-1. Okay. What is... What's over here?
No mistaking who this wagon belongs to. Suppose being an actor requires a certain attention to one's physique. That thing's been through the ringer a few times.
Look at this cactus. So cool.
Hey, Danny?
Yes, Holly.
You fellas talking about anything interesting?
Dwayne's showing me his stunt swordplay. He's supposed to battle the dragon at the end of the play. I've tried giving him a few pointers, but it's not going so great.
What did you think of the show?
Well, I'll put it this way. If one of Jake's shows went that way, I'd be looking for another job.
Talk to you later, Danny.
See you.
Hey there.
Oh, hello.
What are you doing with that sword?
Practicing for the show. I didn't get to do my big fight scene with the dragon.
How did you end up on board with this crew?
Oh, I met Miss Hitomi and Mr. Ellis back east when they passed through my town in Appalachia. Snuck out of the house to see the show. I went backstage after to ask if I could audition to join. And Miss Hitomi said no. So, after they packed up for the night, I stowed away in the wagon. Rode halfway to La Roche before they found me. That was when my real audition happened. Mr. Ellis spoke up for me. He said, "Now, Katie, my dear, you would be a bloody fool to leave the lad behind after a performance like that."
What were you doing before joining this troupe?
Working on my parents' farm. It was a rough life. Wasn't much to my liking. No glamour, no surprise, no fun, no opportunity to meet anyone interesting. And my father was very strict. All he wanted was for me to marry our neighbor's daughter so I would inherit his land and grow our family's holdings. Eventually, I realized I would die if I stayed any longer. My soul would die anyway, so I left.
How did you know you wanted to act?
I always liked listening to other people, hearing how they talked. Used to practice in front of a mirror and try to imitate them. Sometimes I'd dress up to get the look just right. Ma didn't like that much.
What do you think of your fellow troupe members?
Some days I hate them. Most days I love them. And any day, I would die for them. We're a strange little family, you know? Mr. Ellis and Miss Hitomi are a squabbling ma and pa. Dear boy, you must make more time for yourself. There are too few hours in the day as it is. Oh, leave the boy alone, Quentin. He can decide how to spend his time. And Miss Davies is our busybody aunt. Are you comfortable? Have you got everything you need? Is that costume too itchy?
So that would make Martina like your sister?
No, not quite.
Oh.
Say, you're good at imitating other people.
Oh, thanks. It's always been kind of a specialty of mine. Used to get me in a lot of trouble back home, so I only do it for laughs nowadays.
Dwayne's adorable.
Are you sweet on Martina?
With all due respect, that's none of your concern, ma'am.
Giggity.
I've heard a rumor that Miss Hitomi might be keeping some extra funds. Know anything about that?
Oh, sure, I've heard that rumor too, but I don't much believe it. Miss Hitomi takes good care of us. She'd never cheat us out of our earnings.
That sword seems to be giving you some trouble.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time getting the hang of it. The balance on this thing is terrible, and I'm always afraid of breaking it. I never liked working with prop weapons. But as long as we're doing medieval romances, I guess I'm stuck with this sword.
How do you feel about boxing?
I'd be happier doing any kind of unarmed fighting style, really. But how am I supposed to box a dragon?
With style and panache, that's how. It's all about confidence. And I have a feeling you'd look much more confident without that sword.
You don't think the audience would be confused?
It's your job to make them believe it. They just want a good show.
I don't know.
Put up your dukes.
We've never done a boxing scene. I don't really know a lot about the form.
I used to do some boxing back in the day. Could show you some moves if you like.
Heck, sure. Why not? This whole sword thing clearly isn't working for me. But I'd rather not do it bare knuckle. Not really into the whole suffering for my art thing.
Right. I'll see what I can come up with. Thanks. You can get back to your training.
Thanks, ma'am.
Some leather boxing gloves.
Okay. Well, first let's talk to Quentin.
One of your companions has decided to join us.
This is Harley Legere. She used to be a performer of sorts herself, you know.
You don't say. What sort?
I was a fighter. Not sure that really counts.
My dear, if an audience paid money to come see you, that counts as performing in my book. I'm Quentin Ellis, by the by. Delighted to make your acquaintance.
Likewise.
He sounds really familiar, but I cannot place him. I think he was also the voice of that the letter we found in Dr. Bennett Clark's mailbox earlier in the game.
Quentin Ellis is Othello, premiering October 7th.
Othello. 10/7. Quentin Ello is Othello. Othellis.
Mr. Ellis seems rather versatile. Lots of notes and sketches of different costumes and disguises. That is quite a lot of makeup. Hey, Jake?
Yeah, Harley?
You seem quite at home among these performers.
Sure. These are my kind of people. Old Quentin and I have been trading tales about life and showbiz. You ought to stick around and have a listen. You might learn something.
How did you find the show?
Well, there's definitely room for improvement.
I'll just be on my way.
I found the show couldn't find its own ass with both hands.
Could I have a moment, Mr. Ellis?
Of course, my dear.
Just how long have you been a part of this troupe?
Why, since before its inception. That is to say, Kate and I have known each other since well before this incarnation of the troupe was formed. We met in Paris, you see, back in 27.
God, that's driving me crazy. I know that voice. Ah. Drives me nuts.
What did you do before joining the troupe?
I was classically trained at the York Theatrical Academy. I performed all over England before decamping for the continent. When I met Katie, I was touring Europe playing before the crowned heads. Why, my performance as Othello received a standing ovation from Archduke Hubert of Austria.
What drew you to the stage?
Ah, the eternal question. What drew you to the ring?
Money. Found out my tolerance for pain was higher than my tolerance for hunger.
I see.
Good answer.
An empty belly is a demanding muse indeed. For me, it was love of the art. I was born with it.
Paris, you say? What was that like?
Ah, those were the days, wild and carefree. We found welcome from a public receptive to our more experimental forays. Nothing like the audiences you find here, mind. Dusty farmers and unlettered cowpokes, the lot of them.
I'd like to know about the others in your troupe.
Fishing for nasty gossip, are we? Unless you have a couple of glasses and a bottle or two of very good liquor stashed somewhere about your person, you won't be getting any of that from me. Truly, they are good people, and I cherish every one of them. We rely on one another. Granted, we have our occasional quarrels, but what family doesn't? It's true that none of them have my training and decades of stage experience, so naturally they look to me for guidance and mentorship.
Is it true you used to have a magic act?
Why, yes, it is. Funny, I'd almost forgotten. Katie and I briefly tried our hand at stage magic. She was quite adept at sleight of hand, but in the end, it wasn't our true métier. Too much meticulous planning and bulky, specialized equipment. No room for spontaneity and delight. No emotional connection. No, it wasn't for us. Now Katie uses the old magic trunk to store costumes.
I heard a rumor that Miss Hitomi might be misappropriating the troupe's funds.
Poppycock, pure hearsay. I'll bet Faye put that poison in your mind. I have known Katie longer than anyone. She is many things, but never a thief.
Miss Hitomi said something about you being unhappy with your character.
Oh, don't get me started. The evil wizard is a stock villain, paper thin, a cipher. All I do is tromp on stage and glower at the audience. He wants to rule the kingdom and kidnaps the princess, all right. But why? What motivates him to do it? Drama comes from a rich depth of character. Complexity, not caricature. I need something I can work with, something to sink my teeth into.
What's my motivation?
What if Jake and I came up with a better history for your character?
Do you think you could?
Sure. Harley's got the gift of writing, and I've been known to spin a yarn or two.
Very well. I must admit I'm curious to see what you come up with. Why does the wizard want to rule the kingdom?
He doesn't want to rule. He wants to save the kingdom.
Yeah, in his mind, he's the real hero.
Oh, intriguing. A subversion of our expectations. All right, but why does he kidnap the princess?
He's smitten with her and wants to make her his bride.
Yes, that's usually the case, isn't it? And how does the dragon fit into all this?
The wizard wants to tame the dragon and harness its power to serve the kingdom.
Ah, I see. So truly he's just misunderstood. It's all a bit conventional, isn't it? Just the usual tropes. Where's the depth? Perhaps you should give it a bit more thought.
Okay, I think my second answer wasn't the right one.
Let's take another shot at coming up with a story for your wizard.
All right, let's hear it. Why does the wizard...
He doesn't want to...
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
He's actually keeping her safe from the dragon.
Unexpected. I like it. And how does the dragon fit into all this?
The wizard...
Ah, I see. Yes, yes. Oh, this is a much more interesting and complex figure. The wizard is human, like any of us. He has his own needs and desires. He is conflicted. He strives to do the right thing, however that appears to him. He is the protagonist of his own story. This I can work with. Thank you.
Think nothing of it. Appreciate the chat.
The pleasure was all mine, dear.
Yep, that is how you write a good villain. You make them the protagonist of their own story. Okay, I should save at this point. Oops, that's not the save icon. That one is. I already did thespians. I know, right? And he has decades of acting experience. Come on, dude. Let me try again to get into this chest here. Oh wait, sorry, hold on. What did this thing say again?
What a mess. Most of these seem to be show notes. Here's a list of names. Othello, Carondelet, Dissembling, Delphi. Wonder what that means.
Okay, so Othello is 10-7, Carondelet is 6-2, Dissembling is 1-1, and Delphi is 11-6. So what... Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So Othello...
A brass button. Mr. Ellis said this was Miss Hitomi's old magic trunk. Maybe these buttons aren't just for decoration.
So 7, 2, 1, 6. Hey!
Quite a bit of cash in here. So Miss Hitomi is skimming off the profits? Perhaps that book might shed some light on things. Seems to be some kind of diary or ledger. I'd better take a look at this. All sorts of costumes. It seems Miss Hitomi's keeping the extra money to invest in the show. She calls it a rainy day fund, and she has a separate space for emergency salary reserve. So Mrs. Davies was wrong. I ought to show her this. Maybe it'll calm her down.
Okay. Yeah. I was like... I was like, it seems very possible that Kate really is embezzling, but it'd be nice if she wasn't. Okay.
Nothing to say, really. Mrs. Davies?
What is it?
I spoke with Miss Hitomi, and she said she has no plans to let you go.
Well, of course she would say that. That's how it works in this business. All seems well and good until the monthly budget is drawn up, and then the trapdoor opens beneath you and you swing.
So you don't trust Miss Hitomi's word?
I don't trust anyone's word. Only ink on paper.
I'll just leave you to it.
Ink on paper, you say? Well, fine, here.
I found this ledger in Miss Hitomi's trunk, along with some cash.
So I was right. This is exactly the proof I was looking for.
It's not quite what you think. Look at the entries.
Rainy Day Fund. Emergency Salary Reserve. She isn't keeping this for herself.
She's setting it aside to help you all.
Oh dear, how embarrassing. What a fool I've been.
We all make mistakes. So now that you know your position is safe, will you get on stage and perform?
Yes, of course. Thank you for clearing up this misunderstanding. I really do appreciate it.
You know, if you'd asked Kate, she probably would have told you.
I'd best leave her alone unless I've got something to ask.
Can I have your booze now?
I don't think she'll be needing this anymore.
Thank you. I've got better use for that booze. And that is dragon fire!
Phil?
Harley?
All right. bottle of highly potent medicinal brandy. Here, how about this for some fuel?
Yes, this will work. Excuse me, I must go backstage and set up the prop.
Not terrible as far as Miss Hitomi?
Yes?
So long.
Take care.
All right there, Danny?
Yep.
I found some boxing gloves in Miss Hitomi's trunk, if you want to practice sparring.
Oh, sure. That'd be great.
Danny, how'd you like to help out?
Sure.
Get punched, idiot.
First, your stance is all wrong. Stagger your feet, 1 foot in front, weight evenly balanced, knees slightly bent. Good. Now, show me what you can do. Not bad. Not bad. Try not to let your elbow flare out, Dwayne. Protect the ribs. I think you boys are getting the hang of it.
Cute.
He's busy right now. Keep at it. Doing great.
Can I have that sword? No.
Suppose being an actor... That thing's been... Miss Holder?
Yeah?
I must say, you've got a beautiful singing voice.
Oh, why thank you.
I couldn't help but notice how clearly your words come out in song.
Yeah, you are not the first to say this to me. I cannot explain it. It is just something which happens.
Say, I've just had a crazy idea. Rather than speaking your lines, why not sing them?
Sing them? That is an interesting thought, but would it not be strange?
Strange? Haven't you ever heard of opera?
But if only I am singing and no one else?
It's a little unorthodox, sure, but isn't that what art is all about? Being expressive, doing the unexpected.
The singing princess.
I think it will really bring some emotion to the role. It'll be like your character is too pure to just say words. The feeling is so strong she has to sing them.
Yeah, I think I see what you are saying. Very well. I will try this next time.
Goodbye, Miss Holder.
Lovely to be speaking with you.
Cool.
Knights in
I think that's everything?
Miss Hitomi?
Yes?
I think you can try a second rehearsal now.
Really? You sure?
Positive. Let's get this show going.
Hey, Pedro47. Thank you for the raid. Just in time for the show.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a beautiful and charming princess.
How I love my land. The people are kind, the water fresh, and the day sunny and bright.
The princess was loved and admired by everyone in the land, except one. An evil wizard coveted the kingdom and kidnapped the princess, intending to marry her and gain the throne.
Hark! You may think me evil, but wait until you discover my true intentions.
To ensure she could not escape, he summoned a terrifying dragon to guard her.
Trogdor! Rad! Burninating the princess.
However, all was not lost.
This is Rosewater.
For a young hero rose to the challenge.
I shall battle the dragon and save the princess.
Just came out a couple months ago.
If my dear mother lets me.
My dearest boy, proud as I am of your bravery, I worry so for your safety.
Fear not, mother, for I shall return victorious from battle.
That's Roof Cottages!
And so the brave lad rode to the castle and confronted the mighty dragon.
Fisticuffs!
Foul beast, your end is nigh.
Boop!
With the dragon defeated, our brave hero rescued the princess and vanquished the wizard.
Curses! My plans have been foiled.
Oh, my brave son has returned.
Ah, your highness, I am smitten by your beauty. Will you marry me?
Yes, yes, gladly will I marry you. And they lived happily ever after.
I'm surprised we didn't get to use Dwayne's mimic skill.
Well, at least we made it through to the end that time. Your fixes made a big difference. It's given me a lot to consider. Quentin has offered to do some rewrites. I'm sure he'll get us in good shape by next week.
Glad to be of service.
I'm curious to know how it all turns out. Send me a note at the Rosewater Post after you premiere.
Gladly.
We should be on our way. Miss Johnson has surely awoken from her nap by now.
True enough. Break a leg next week, Miss Hitomi.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Yay!
We did what we could for Miss Hitomi and her folk. In the end, they formed a strange kind of family, and they seemed determined to keep on going. We've kept on going too. The oppressive, arid heat is beginning to give way to fresh breezes and forested slopes as we leave the desert scrub behind and cross into the mountains. Onward and upward.
Yay! Updated my journal. Okay, we read that. Memorable performance. We did what we could for Miss Hitomi and her folk, and while it's not exactly Moliere, it just might leave the crowds feeling like they've got a little more clang for their copper. However things shake out on the stage, behind the scenes their bonds of fellowship have been reinvigorated at the very least. It is obvious that Miss Hitomi has not gathered her players together on the strength of theatrical ability, but to offer a refuge of sorts for those who have nowhere else to go. By choice or circumstance, they have formed a strange kind of family, and they seem determined to keep on going. With the show back on track and Miss Johnson refreshed from her nap, we have kept on going too. And then we heard the rest of this already. Cool.
Phil?
Harley?
How do you think Miss Hitomi's show will do?
I believe it has a chance to succeed. If nothing else, the new pyrotechnics for the dragon will distract the audience from the acting.
We'll talk
Ouch.
more later.
I look forward to it.
Hey, Nadine.
Hello, Harley.
Think Miss Hitomi's show will be a success?
I'd like to think so. We certainly left it better than when we found it.
No, it cannot be.
What's up, Phil?
What's
¿Qué
going
pasa?
on?
Not sure, but we're slowing down. Must be something important if he convinced Miss Johnson to stop. I'll go have a look. Care to explain what's going on?
I know these people. They are from Jicotea.
All the way out here?
Yes. I thought they might head for the border, as I did. I am relieved to see they made it.
General Márquez, ¿qué haces aquí?
are you doing here?
Antonio, it is good to see you are well.
I would not say I am well, General.
This is my companion, Harley Leger.
Has the General recruited you to his cause then?
Far from it. We're looking for a missing fortune.
I see. A treasure, is it? The General is adept at enlisting people to pursue his flights of fancy.
What are you talking about?
It wasn't his idea.
You came to our village with your talk of revolution and freedom. You are very persuasive, General. Your words moved people and put many innocent lives in harm's way. No sooner had you arrived than the army came to rain fire upon us. Surely you knew what would happen.
I expected some response, of course. But who could anticipate that those Spanish dogs would behave like such inhuman monsters? But I also believed that the people would resist. And resist they did.
You gave us no choice. We were forced to defend ourselves. But you never allowed us to decide if we wanted to join your fight.
I did not consider.
It is only by God's grace that some of us managed to escape. Jicotea, our home, is gone. Those who survived made our way here to this strange country.
Where is Lieutenant Morales? I ordered him to lead a civilian evacuation as escort. Did he not conduct you to safety?
Yes, he did. But I do not think it would be a good idea for you to see him.
Uh-oh.
In fact, it would be best if you just go now. We do not need any more of your revolution here, General.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Not quite the welcome you were expecting, is it? Maybe we can do something to get these folks on your side again.
Like what?
Let's poke around. Something might come to us. Phil?
Harley?
Who is this Lieutenant Morales you mentioned?
One of my bravest compadres. And a dear friend. I tasked him with leading the survivors of Jicotea north, across the border, if necessary. If he is here, I would very much like to speak with him.
Right. Carry on. Looks like they've set up a lantern. The candle needs replacing. It's almost completely melted. Could I have a moment?
What do you want?
I'd like to hear more about you.
My name is Antonio Ruiz. Like my family for generations before me, I used to be a baker in our village, Jicotea, but everything changed when General Marquez came to us. Now my family is gone, and I am a refugee in a foreign land.
I'm so sorry.
Better to be alive somewhere strange than dead at home.
How did you wind up in this camp?
Lieutenant Morales got us away from our village and helped us across the border. We decided to head west, out of the desert. 3 weeks ago, we found this abandoned church and set up our camp. It has not been easy. We have sick and injured, and we have already lost some along the way. We cannot stay here forever. We need to find a more permanent home.
What are those guys doing in the background? Looks like they're having a disagreement. Or at least an animated conversation.
We'd like to see Lieutenant Morales.
As I said before, that is not a good idea. Lieutenant Morales has been through enough already. I do not want to torment him further by allowing General Marquez an audience.
Thank you, sir.
Adios, señorita.
Seems to be a newspaper from a nearby town.
More newspapers, yay! Needham's News Circular, the news you need. Serving Pike Valley, Camp Felton, Shivering Pines, and environs. W. Stanley Needham, editor, publisher, sole correspondent. Rebels rouse rabble, raise ruckus. Scattered southern skirmishes stir Spanish soldiers. Like two homesteaders on adjoining plots of land, who each must suffer the fragrant musk of the other's livestock, the encroachment of creeping weeds, drifting gusts of smoke, and the muffled clatters and cries of domestic disharmony borne over the air from its neighbor, disrespectful of any boundary marker or property line, no more can our nation remain hermetic and unawares of the private troubles and effluent discharge of our neighbor to the south. Ew. While the ill-favored rebellion of certain new Spanish rustics against the brutish excesses of their sovereign king may be counted a wholly internal matter for the citizens of that empire and her colony, the result has been a steady northward crossing of the would-be uprisers and refugees in the wake of their failed campaigns of resistance. The vagabond trains of these uprooted peasants have become a familiar sight in these parts, wending through our hills and valleys bearing the remnants of their households upon their backs. Is it not neighborly, then, for us Vespuccians to take an interest in matters beyond our border, to wonder whether New Spain might yet reclaim her wayward citizens, taking refuge in our fields like a runaway child fleeing a loutish father's heavy hand? While the cries of revolution have quieted since the rout of rebel General Marquez and the raising of insolent Jicotea, occasional reports have surfaced to offer a small glimmer of hope for the cause. A fortnight ago, for instance, the armory of the garrison at Loma Verde is said to have suffered calamity when the considerable store of gunpowder kept there ignited in the night, a careless mishap or the work of insurgents still uncowed. Do not sit in the dark. Light up your life with wax-tipped candles made at home. You need not wallow in obscurity nor allow the chandler to grow fat from your custom. With a little sweat of the brow, you can wholly supplant his services and make your own serviceable candlesticks. Here is the method: for the wax, any of tallow, beeswax, or candelilla wax may be used. Over a strong flame, melt a goodly quantity of this substance in a sturdy metal pot. For the wick, take a length of twine or thick-plaited thread of cotton flax or hemp, and dip all but an inch into the melted wax. Hold submerged for half a minute, then withdraw. Repeat until the wax lies upon the wick in thick coats and assumes the aspect of a well-formed candle. Hang to dry. When darkness falls, burn your creation to chase the shadows away. Forswear your erstwhile chandler, for now you have become the master of his art. Felton Sawmill nears completion, seeks workers. Since his purchase this past spring of half a league of land northeast of the township of Shivering Pines, including a parcel adjoining Camp Felton in the fast-flowing waters of Catterkill Creek, Mr. Edgar Felton has been engaged in building a new sawmill to succeed the one previously commenced and partially built about 3 miles to the south, before a flash flood washed it all away in the summer of last year. Not one to be undone by the whims and perverse tantrums of Mother Nature, Mr. Felton has persevered in his designs and announces that the new Felton sawmill will commence operation by the end of this year. This ought to come as welcome news to the diverse loggers and foresters of Shivering Pines, who thought those namesake woods abound with good timber. Who, though those namesake woods abound with good timber, have been obliged by the region's dearth of milling capacity to transport their product to distant Esperance, or even way up north to Havertfield for processing it into lumber. Yet they should not rejoice prematurely, for before the mill can begin to contribute to the local industry, there remains the obstacle of populating it with workers. A total complement of at least 50 or 60 working men and women will be required to bring the mill up to full operating capacity, to say nothing of the services and amenities needed to support such a robust workforce. Since the disappointments of last summer when the first promised mill was swept away, Camp Felton has become all but a ghost town as prospective laborers moved on in search of riper opportunities. The old camp and new sawmill nearing completion stand ready to receive their future inhabitants, whoever they may be, so long as they are ready to work and willing to make a new home here in the erstwhile wilderness.
There's a length of string tied to this tree. Must have been used to hang laundry. It keeps the chill of the forest at bay. The pot hanging above it is empty. There's quite a few people. Doesn't look like they've been camped here very long. There's quite... Not a bad place to seek shelter, though the building's clearly been abandoned for quite some time.
Well, I guess we're going inside then.
General Marquez? No puede ser.
It can't be.
Isabel, I am glad to see you.
What are you doing here? And who is this?
This is my companion, Harley Leger.
Don't tell me you've begun recruiting Vespuccians. After abandoning your own people, now you've got foreigners dancing to your tune?
Isabel, you're not being fair.
You dare talk to me about fairness? Fairness would be seeing you executed for cowardice.
What?
After drawing the army into a battle, you fled, leaving us to be massacred.
I did no such thing.
You should have stayed and fought with us, first into battle and last to retreat. Instead, you withdrew as Jicotea crumbled. How do you expect to achieve victory if if you do not stay to claim it.
I thought...
It was only the brave leadership of Lieutenant Morales that kept us alive. Now, we are stuck here, unable to return and take back what's rightfully ours. I don't want to speak about this anymore. Leave me in peace, General.
Well, mierda.
Several articles of clothing are hanging to dry. It leads up to the loft, but I'm not risking my neck to see what's up there. They've turned a pew over to serve as a table, and it seems the collection plate's been turned into a serving plate. Someone left their knife behind.
Free knife? Gimme.
They've turned some. The pews have seen better days. Some of them have been converted into makeshift beds. A glob of dried wax. Someone was careless with a candle. This shelf probably held many candles once, but there's only some old dried wax now. It's been a long time since anyone used that altar. It's been a long... Can't think of anything to ask. Ma'am?
What is it?
Let's talk to her and then we'll call it quits for the night.
Tell me more about yourself, Isabel.
Myself. What can I say? My life has been completely destroyed. I used to take care of my grandchildren while my son and his wife worked their farm. Now, I am stuck in a strange country with no hope of return. And to complete my torment, the man responsible for it all turns up as if nothing happened.
Is your family here? Did they escape with you?
No. My son stood up to the Spanish tyrants and died defending his home. Last I saw his wife, she was fleeing with the children. I do not know where they went. Lieutenant Morales and his men ushered a group of us out. There was no time to gather anything or find our loved ones.
I'm so sorry.
As am I. Sorry I cannot return to punish those who robbed us of our freedom.
How did you come to shelter in this church?
After crossing into Vespuccia, we soon realized that we could not survive in the open desert. The forest proved just as dangerous. At last, we happened upon this abandoned church. It may not be much, but at least it has walls and a roof.
She sure does. I'm guessing all of these people do.
Can you tell me about Antonio?
That poor old fool. He has completely given up. He thinks we should abandon our home, start over in Vespuccia, rather than return to the fight. The man I once knew would not just roll over and admit defeat. It is sad to see how age has enfeebled him.
Would it be possible for us to speak with Lieutenant Morales?
That is out of the question.
We'll talk again later. Can't think of anything to ask.
Okay, well, we'll continue investigating this depressing place next time. But for now, I will leave you with that. And let's find someone else to raid if there is someone around. Ooh, we got more Zero Escape over on Taco Adventures channel. We got Checker High playing Pokemon. We got, what else we got? I mean, I can't not raid Zero Escape. 999 always going to be top choice. Yeah, thank you for coming. Good to see you again. Thank you for the raid, Pedra. Thank you for the fun nerding out about mythology, Sunganif. And I'll see you folks tomorrow on Wednesday for more Deadly Premonition. And next Tuesday for more of this game. Yay! For now, enjoy some sweet escape. Well, yeah, kind of escape room game-ish, puzzle game, good times with Taco Adventure. And yeah, take care. Good night.